In a climate that makes concentrating near impossible, and handbooks don't distract from the heat, these internally displaced Iraqi students are doing their best to learn.
We used to live in our own neighborhoods and it was like heaven. We used to go to clean schools and these schools would have proper roofs. But now we're studying here.
While the boys here worry the world has forsaken them, they're determined not to give up on their education. According to UNICEF, there are approximately 850,000 internally displaced school-aged children here in Iraq. Of that number, 650,000 have missed at least a year worth of classes. That's why schools like this are so important now. Murtada fled Anbar province with his family when ISIL fighters took it over in April. He's just one of the students who's been forced to miss months of school.
If we were back home, I would wear a proper uniform to school. I wouldn't dress like this, and we wouldn't be living now in tents.
Or studying in them either. Teacher Jalal Badr Aziz says the situation is even worse than it looks at the Al-Taqiya IDP camp.
The most basic requirements for classes are not available. We have 90 students in 3 different classes and only 30 textbooks were distributed. How can you teach 90 students with 30 books?
Jalal tells me that although 20 teachers should be working here now, a lack of funding has meant only 5 make it every day. As his wife, Abir Sha'ban, teaches English to another group of students in an adjacent tent, she expresses even more concern.
We feel that this is a crime against those poor children. What did they do to deserve such harsh conditions? They are a bit happier than before since at least now they have a makeshift school to go to, but these schools lack the basic requirement to teach them adequately.
Studying English, the kids recite numbers written out for them on a whiteboard propped up by cinder blocks. Despite support from UNICEF and other aid groups, 12-year-old Muhammad says much, much more is needed.
It's very, very hot. The electricity comes and then it goes. And sometimes it doesn't come at all.
Outside, the next class queues up, and tattered workbooks wither in the sun, while mothers bake bread for an encampment where there's far too much hunger, and the thirst for knowledge hasn't come close to being quenched. Mohammed Jamjoom, Al Jazeera, Baghdad.